We have made it to the weekend, and in this installment, we'll be going over the Saturday 5-game slate for DraftKings and Fanduel. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Saturday slate on DraftKings and FanDuel, bringing you the top plays at each and every position. Before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. And also, if you are a viewer and not a subscriber, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. I believe we are at 764. Let's keep on moving. This is the weekend. Let's finish strong, okay? We got Saturday and Sunday to finish the week strong. And let's look over just some of the previous days' great plays that we had. If you want to be 100%, we're looking at some of these guys that I gave you on Friday. Campaign, all these guys came through. Cameron Payne, 17 points, 16 assists. Cameron Johnson, I know you've seen the highlights. He had a night, 38 points. He was 9 to 12 from the 3-point line. So in DraftKings, that boost, he had astronomical numbers. All right, Jalen Smith had a double double. I gave you him as a value play. Jokic was a late scratch, but I told you that the centers against the Houston Rockets are horrible. Okay, I mean, well, their defense is horrible. So DeMarcus Cousins stepped in and had 31 points, 10 rebounds, six. He had a crazy line as well. Some other guys I gave you, Christian Wood finished with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. He was facilitating the ball to add with his double double. And then Kentavious Caldwell Pope, I gave you as a shooting guard. He had a great day. Nothing like I've never seen them have this type of day. 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists across the board. We killed it yesterday, so let's do the same for Saturday. Starting off with the point guard position, we are going to stay in this, take advantage of this fact that Kyle Lowry is out, and we are going to Tyler HERRO at 7K. As long as Kyle Lowry is out, we're going to ride Tyler HERRO until the wheels crack, especially since Jimmy Butler has not been performing well. It's pretty much been Tyler HERRO, Bam Adebayo, and the bench that are really supporting this Miami team. Obviously, they have great team defense as well, but Tyler HERRO has come off the bench as a six-man and put in solid efforts against Brooklyn, against Milwaukee, and he's probably going to do it again against Philadelphia. So you got 3 games in a row against top tier East talent. And they're going to put a very good performance going up against the Philadelphia 76ers, a motivated type of environment. Tyler HERRO, I expect him to have another game of 19 to 20 shot attempts. If he's knocking it down, he can surpass this price 100%. All right. Last past 2 games, 46 and 48 fantasy points at 7K. That is way too cheap. But let's move over to the shooting guard position. And the first guy I will speak about will be the LA Lakers, Malik Monk. All right. He's been coming off the bench, putting in solid minutes in the last past 2 games against the Clippers and Dallas. Obviously, the Lakers have been getting blown out. And I don't see that changing going up against the Golden State Warriors, who are highly motivated on a little bit of a losing streak right now. Malik Monk provides a scoring power and efficiency off the bench that they definitely need. Obviously, Austin Reeves is not the answer. Westbrook is really not a shooter. Carmelo Anthony is very wish-washy in his performances, but Malik Monk has been and showed in previous games that he can definitely has no problem putting the ball in the basket. 33 against Milwaukee, 33 against New York, 41 against the Clippers in some of these games, 26 against the Clippers, the last matchup, and against Dallas, he had 31 at 5K. I think that is still too cheap. Before he gets to that 55 to 6K range, we should definitely take advantage of Malik Monk at the shooting guard position. I have another guy for you, and that will be Lonnie Walker. So in this Spurs and Charlotte Hornets game, these are 2 bad defenses coming together. So there's another game environment that I want to focus on. Definitely, you're going to see a lot of guys in this particular game. So Lonnie Walker, hopefully, as long as he is cleared, currently he's questionable for Saturday, but if he is back, I gave you him against the Kings. He came through with 30 real points, 2 assists and 2 rebounds, 1 steal. Almost got you a 40 bomb and was at the price of 4,600. They raised his price only $200, so the upside is still there. Definitely watch out for Lonnie Walker. Make sure you check in on the injury report to make sure he's in. Definitely someone we have to focus on. Let's move over to the small forward position. And like I said, we are keying in on this Hornets and Spurs games. And the next guy we're going to talk about is Miles Bridges. All right. This man is probably uh comeback player of the year, and most improved player, not comeback, most improved player. That's what I want to say. And he's coming out of nowhere. This team is low key very, very dangerous. The Charlotte Hornets on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, there's question marks, but they have at each and every position someone that can put the ball in the basket with ease. LaMelo can create. Terry Rozier can get hot at any moment. Miles Bridges has stepped up. There's someone everywhere on this Hornets team that can score, okay? 36 minutes against Cleveland, 37 fantasy points. Don't want to say yes. In his previous matchup against the Spurs, he had 43.5 fantasy points and is now at 7,600 salary. This game should be very high in the points, similar to what we see him against Detroit. So you got two bad teams coming together. For some reason, it gets to the 115s, 120s, 130s, and it gets out of hand. Okay, so if we get that type of performance like they did against Detroit, 126 to 127, he had 57 fantasy points. That's definitely possible. With the injury to Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges has been been shooting the ball a little bit more and been relied on a little bit more. All right, so love him at the small forward position. Um, let's go with another small forward, and that's going to be Devin Vassell. All right, we're sticking to these secondary guys on the Spurs. We have Devin Vassell right here. He's another guy that is questionable. So you got Lonnie Walker and you got Devin Vassell. So hopefully these guys are in. If they are out, then there's other pivots. There's Doug McDermott who's going to have to step up, and there's other guys. All right. So for him, he's been playing very well the past 5 games. 33 minutes against Memphis, 26 fantasy points against Miami. He had 38 fantasy points, 32 fantasy points against Washington, and 32 fantasy points against the OKC Thunder at 5,800. I'm going to take advantage of this. Before he gets to above 6K, we got to watch that range. Then we're expecting a little bit more out of him once he gets to a new price point. All right, but as long as he's staying within 5,000, if you're giving me 25 and above 30, then I am okay. Then I can move on to my next position and find another gem. So Devin Vassell at 5,800. Watch the injury report because we got to be very mindful and pivot if these two guys are out between Lonnie Walker and Devin Vassell. Okay, let's move over to the power forward position, and that will be the guy I'm looking at back to the well on the Spurs is Keldon Johnson. Now I'll try to look up some information on why he only played 16 minutes against the Kings. I was not able to find anything. He was not injured. This is their key guy for the future anyway for the power forward position. So maybe you're just something weird, maybe some matchup. I'm not sure. I try to look it up, but his consistency in the games prior, Memphis, Washington, OKC, and Chicago is there. Okay, he has the ability to definitely put up big numbers, and that's why they kind of know low key. They raised his price to 6,100 after a game with only 6 fantasy points. So that is a little, it makes you think like, okay, there could be something here. Obviously, Charlotte struggles against bigs, so Keldon Johnson and Jakob Poeltl should have great games, and that's why they priced him at this price at 6,100. I'm going to take that shot on him 100% because he has the history of putting up great numbers. 32 and 7 against Washington, 22 and 7 against OKC. These are bad defenses, and he's performed. Charlotte's another bad defense. I like Keldon Johnson at that power forward position. Right. Next at the center. Now, you got a ton of guys here. You got Joel Embiid going against Miami. Understandable, that's a very good defense in Miami. Karl-Anthony Towns against Portland. That could be a blowout. So I don't know if you want to pay $10,200 for that. Same thing goes for Bam Adebayo. He has to go up against Joel Embiid. Could get in foul trouble because of how they use Joel Embiid down low. We got Wendell Carter, who's questionable. So there's a lot of question marks. It's very murky in the center position on Saturday. So someone I'm going to key in on will be Steven Adams against Orlando. This matchup, yes, it is Orlando, but Steven Adams has some weird games. He has a triple double this year, if you want to be honest. In these type of game environments, I think he can take over very easily and get his points, and then they'll probably blow him out and he'll sit on the bench. But he's done this before. He's done this before. The last game against Orlando in 23 minutes, and this is my example here. In 23 minutes, he had 38 fantasy points at 6,200. Outstanding. He scored 12 points. He chipped in with 8 assists and 11 rebounds. So, obviously, Orlando, very poor defensively. He was able to rack up all his fantasy points in 23 minutes. Is it risky going for this yet again? Yes, but is the upside there? 100%. If Orlando tries to keep this competitive, then you can definitely see Steven Adams going for a 40 bomb and maybe even more. Okay? So I'm taking a risk, taking a shot on Steven Adams. The matchup is outstanding. And as long as he's playing the minutes, he is going to be productive. All right? So I like Steven Adams at 6,200. All right? Now, let's cover our bases with a value play here. And if this game is a blowout between Memphis and Orlando, then we can definitely look towards Brandon Clarke. This is the power forward slash center off the bench, and he's had some games in cleanup duty, really putting in solid work. Or if Jaren Jackson gets in foul trouble, he comes in, has been very, very active at 4,100, similar to these games against Minnesota. 26 fantasy points. Portland, 34 fantasy points. Pelicans, he had 33 fantasy points. Look at this stretch run right here. 29, 33. I keep going out. 38. All these games right here, and a lot of these games are blowouts. Brandon Clarke has come in and put in a very solid game, okay? So if they blow him out, Brandon Clarke can clean up, and if it works out for Steven Adams as well, he'll get his fantasy points and Clarke will get his as well. Now, we got to be very mindful. 5 games only. So there's not that many options. I'm giving you the best of what I found. Let's move over to FanDuel and let's finish this video very, very strong. All right. Now, I've given you a lot of San Antonio Spurs, and I want to give you LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is cheaper on FanDuel. He's 8,000 compared to DraftKings, where LaMelo Ball should be. I believe he is 8,500. Yes, $500 more on DraftKings. You get him a cheaper value in a up-tempo game against the San Antonio Spurs, which should be in 120s range. Definitely is a buy on FanDuel. I like him on DraftKings as well, but the value is going to be on this secondary site right here. Next guy we're going to look at will be Jordan Poole going against the LA Lakers. We've seen the Lakers get blown out against worse competition, and this could be very similar where the Golden State Warriors are reeling for a win. They're dying for a win, and we've seen Jordan Poole play a little bit better as of late, a little bit more comfortable in that game against Dallas. 23 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, and 2 steals. Came through with 36 fantasy points. At his current price of 4,700, is someone we can look at that shooting guard position, right? Next guy. I told you about Miles Bridges. He is cheaper on DraftKings. Yes, by $500. So we got to take advantage of that. He has great upside going against the San Antonio Spurs. And then at the power forward position, Chuma Okeke. This play is only if Wendell Carter Jr. is going to be out. He is currently questionable. We have to watch news in that injury report. If he is out, then we are going to go with Chuma Okeke as a very solid mid-range play on both sides. Okay, he is 5,700 on FanDuel and he is 5,100 on DraftKings. So the value is there. Now, let's move over to our lock of the night. And the lock of the night will be DeJounte Murray. All right. We're going to go and finish this off with the leader of the San Antonio Spurs, Mr. Triple Double himself. He's had outstanding performances in his past 5 games: 54 against Sacramento, 46 against Memphis, 61 against Washington. And now we get a game against the Charlotte Hornets, who play absolutely no defense. I see hopefully another triple double in his future in this particular game going up against LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. DeJounte Murray at 9,600 is a steal on FanDuel, because if you're comparing him on DraftKings, he's all the way up to 10,800. You're saving $1,200 in salary playing him on FanDuel with 50 to 60 type of outcome. All right. So definitely let me know in that comment section down below if you have any other suggestions at point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, value play, or lock. I'm going to be sticking to the guys I just went through, and especially the lock of the night with DeJounte Murray in this great game environment. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram at Twitter and on Instagram at MetsNetsJustD, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Peace out, guys.